Okay, so Phenibut is all the rage right now, and I wanted to get some and try it out and see if it lived up to the hype. So this is the Phenibut video. All right, Phenibut, for those of you who don't know, is just a GABA molecule attached to a phenyl ring. So but GABA doesn't actually cross the blood-brain barrier very well, and when you add this phenyl group to it, resulting in Phenibut, that crosses the blood-brain barrier all right. So chemically, that's all it is. There's a lot of derivatives of GABA out there, and this is one of them. And it's closely related to baclofen. It actually differs only by a chlorine atom. In baclofen, you add a chlorine atom to Phenibut, and so these are all really closely related. Um, Pharmacologically, what it does is it's actually thought for a while that GABA or I'm sorry, yeah, it was thought that GABA was the GABA receptors was the thing that Phenibut acted on primarily. It has some affinity for GABA A, a lot more affinity for GABA B, but as it turns out, I think it was just this year we realized that the primary mode of action is that it attaches to voltage controlled calcium channels, and these are a type of receptor. These things are found all over the place, all throughout the muscular system, the nervous system, some other places, and there's a specific subunit, the A2 delta subunit, that is found in these, and that's what Phenibut attaches to. The actual, I guess you would say the receptors vary. You have this subunit, and then there's other possible subunits, and it depends what subunits are around it. When you're talking about whether or not Phenibut will inhibit or enhance transmission, so it's not always, I guess, inhibitory at every receptor. It's kind of complicated. I don't know. I guess in some places it's inhibiting, some places it's probably enhancing, and it's kind of a dirty drug in a way because these voltage-gated calcium channels are all over the place. And Phenibut's acting on most of these. Most voltage-gated calcium channels do have this subunit that Phenibut attaches to, so it's like a bomb in your body. Acts on a lot of different things. It is kind of dirty, just not necessarily because it acts on a variety of receptors, but because it acts. The receptors that it acts on are found all over the place, and so that's how I think of it. It does seem kind of dirty from a pharmacological standpoint. Anyway, enough of that. Let's get into some more practical stuff. I'm gonna hold this board up here and we'll go over this. Half-life, a little over 5 hours. The onset, you're looking at anywhere from 60 to 90 minutes and that's just for the effects to kick in at all. Okay, the lowest number I've seen on the internet was 45 minutes, but that's kind of rare. I think the standard thing is that you should expect to wait 60 to 90 minutes for this to kick in. 2 to 4 hours for the full effect. So, 60 to 90 minutes to start kicking in, 2 to 4 hours before you're completely there, and a total duration of 4 to 10 hours. It's a drug. Phenibut takes a long time to kick in, and it lasts a long time, so be careful. The biggest thing to keep in mind with this is that you don't want to wait 45 minutes, decide it's not working, and redose, because it's a good way to get more than you're asking for. And with Phenibut especially, you don't want that. Alright, so now some of those basics. What does it actually do? Phenibut primarily acts to combat anxiety. It's an anxiolytic, and in particular, people talk about it In the forums mostly because the social aspects of it. It pretty much kills all social anxiety, and at least that's what people say. And that's what they're really using it for. That's like the hot thing. Like, what if I could take something that's going to give me a boost socially? What would it be? And if you ask that question, a lot of people would probably say Phenibut. Now, you got to be careful with it because you can get withdrawal effects from this. You can get, like, if a single dose is too big, you can actually get withdrawal effects from a single dose that'll last like 2 or 3 days. These can include like rebound anxiety and depression. So you feel like crap, and it's not something to play with. Also, it's the type of thing that you don't want to mix with alcohol, benzos, anticonvulsants, epilepsy medication, that sort of thing. So, the stuff that kind of makes sense because it's similar. Yeah, really don't do that. I've seen reports of people mixing it with alcohol, and almost invariably that's a terrible experience, the worst blackout, worst hangover. You just don't do that. Sometimes it's weird because people will do things. It's like the worse you say it is, the more people want to try it because it must be like really intense. It must be like sometimes that just doesn't sound fun to me. I mean, if you really want to experiment with it, knock yourself out, but don't call an ambulance on yourself and get this shit banned for everybody else if you're going to be stupid. So, yeah. Also, you don't want to use it too frequently either. So you don't want the dosage to be too high, and you don't want it to be too frequent. Like, I would say no more than one. Some people say once or twice a week. Personally, I go no more than once a week, and honestly, that's just like a higher end. You shouldn't even use it regularly. And that's just not for health. That's just so you can keep that potency for you for when you really need it. And let's see. Yeah, my personal experience with it is that I did the first time I took it. The dosage varies quite a bit. It goes anywhere from like, I don't know. I've even seen 250 milligrams, which pretty much nobody takes, but like 500 milligrams where I started, and that goes from anywhere from like 500 all the way up to like people will take this stuff in excess of like 5 grams even. So that's a little too high, but when I started out, I went pretty much with anything. Start low and go slow. I took 500 milligrams, and it was pretty smooth. It was a nice, relaxed feeling. Definitely felt something, but the second time I took it, I didn't really get that. I didn't really hardly get anything. In fact, you hear about it making people just instant social butterflies. And it actually had the opposite effect. I actually felt awkward making eye contact. I felt really weird about interacting with people. I felt like I was being judged. It was weird. It was I don't know. I didn't see many reports of people saying it had the opposite effect, but is it possible? Like, I waited 1 week and I took the same dosage of 500 milligrams. So from what I hear, it might not be completely out of the realm of possibility that I already developed some minor tolerance to it. But I don't know. I'm being that careful. It's hard to believe that 500 milligrams, you wait a week, it would be tolerance. And basically, maybe like my body was somehow overcompensating for this, and that's why I had the opposite effect. But I don't know. It was really weird. I don't want to push this stuff too high. I'm thinking next time I try it, I'm going to go to a gram and see how that works out. But if a gram doesn't work out for me, that's bad. So I've seen reports of people who just don't respond to it real well, and they keep pushing it, and like all of a sudden they'll just have an sort of like an overdose, like too much of it, and so you're just because you don't feel anything doesn't mean that there might not be some health effects though. Maybe it just doesn't work real good for you. I know what I got's legit. First off, I got mine. I got it from Powder City, which is a pretty respected brand. I got some bulk powder, and while I would recommend caps for most people, the nice thing about the bulk powder is that Phenibut's really sour, and this is really sour. So just that's another hint that this is something that's legit. So I mean, a lot of times when stuff doesn't work, you want to ask the question: is it legit? Are you sure that you even got? It happens, sometimes. Um, Between being a respected brand and being um, something that I could taste, and it has a distinct taste, and it was definitely sour. I mean, it's got like a pH of 2 something. So yeah, I think it's pretty legit Phenibut. It's just me. Like I said, that first dose seemed to work good for me. I don't know why the second time didn't work so good. I caught myself. I think I had. I saw somewhere that you don't want to drink milk with it, and I think to neutralize the pH, I had like a gulp of milk afterwards, and I thought, oh crap. Maybe that's bad, because the pH, it might have like messed with the Phenibut and interfered with absorption. I'm thinking that might have been it. So I'm gonna try to take it next time on an empty stomach and just see how that works out. I'll keep you posted. The biggest thing I would say is now, yeah, if you want to take back to the caps. I would definitely take caps. The pH, it's not even the taste. The taste isn't overwhelming, but anytime you start to get anything too acidic, you worry about your teeth. And I would take Phenibut so infrequently that it shouldn't be a big deal anyway, but I try to baby my teeth, and so Phenibut, what I do with these free powders, in particular ones that taste bad, I use kind of like a reverse parachute method. So I'll like weigh out the powder, or it comes with if you don't have a scale, it comes with this scoop. Okay, ew, dog hair or something. It comes with this scoop, and so you can measure it out that way. You put it on a piece of paper, and when you put some water in your mouth, and then you like parachute it on top of the water and drink it that way. It's like a way that I saw that on the internet, and that's what I do. You still taste it a little bit. It's hard to swallow it right away. I think it's some kind of like drowning reflex. Like if water's sitting back there, it's hard for me to just open my throat and swallow it right away. So it kind of sucks, because I'm like, I just want to swallow it, and like I got this reflex where it takes me a sec to open my throat. Anyway, that's how I do it, and personal experience. Oh, I did that. So how I use it. Yeah, I'm just going to save this pretty much as an ace up my sleeve for social situations, if it even pans out in the long run to be something that's worth having. A lot of people on the forums are saying, actually, just don't even mess with this. It's got too much addictive potential, and it can be, I think a lot of times that sort of thing can just sneak up on you, so I have pretty good self-control. I think self-control is a prerequisite for using this sort of thing, but I really wanted to try it. It seemed like if this works, it would be nice to have. Like, if you're going to an important interview or something, you could whip out some Phenibut a few hours beforehand, and, it might have its place, but it's definitely not the type of thing you want to use regularly. And I'll keep you posted how it works out. I'd be glad to hear how it works out for other people. I've seen a lot of varying reports. Like sex is another thing. I've seen like some people say that it like really makes sex amazing, but then I've seen other people say it kind of just puts your dick in the dirt. So I don't know. I think sex is weird with drugs, because it seems like a lot of the time one thing will help somebody. Weed's like that. Like some people think makes sex amazing. Other people say it puts your dick in the dirt. I don't know. That's my take on Phenibut. That's there's not a whole lot to say about it. I mean, it's pretty much used for one thing. It kills anxiety, in particular social anxiety. It's used for other things. It's been prescribed, like in Russia, for a bunch of different things. Restless leg syndrome, which is, I still think, a bullshit disease. Depression, I think. So, a bunch of things. But the way anybody over here who's buying as a supplement is going to use it is for the social aspects. And have some fun with Phenibut, and let me know what you think. See ya.